Good Erev Shabbos, Chol Hamoed, Sukkos. We are very shortly going to read the final parsha in the Torah, V'zos HaBracha, and celebrate Simchas Torah. And in this final parsha of the Torah refers to the Jewish people with a strange moniker, a euphemism. Rather than referring to the Jewish people as Yisrael, the pasuk says, "Vayihi b'Yeshurun Melech," and when he reigned as king over Yeshurun, over Israel. So who the king is and what we're talking about in terms of the rulership and leadership of Israel is not my analysis today, but rather the first part of this pasuk, referring to the Jewish people as Yeshurun, Vayihi b'Yeshurun Melech. Why does the Torah not say the more straightforward rendition, Vayihi b'Yisrael Melech? And there was a king in Israel, a king ruled over Israel. What does it mean? Vayihi b'Yeshurun, there was a king in Yeshurun. And here the Mefarshim all take aim at this anomaly and suggest an interpretation of this word, and in doing so give us insight as to what the essential character of a Jewish person is. Rabbi Sadia Gaon says the word Yeshurun derives from the word Osher, which means success, joy, and contentment. All of that sort of piled together. It's a sense of success with contentment and joy. And this herein is an important quality of what it means to be a Jew. Because the Jewish people are a winning team. And when a person fails and falters in their own personal journey, when I fail to meet the expectations that I have set for myself in life, or I fail to meet what I believe are HaKadosh Baruch Hu's expectations for me in the observance of Torah and mitzvahs and leading a spiritually profound existence, I can take heart in the fact that I'm part of a winning team. And that should give me strength, give me chizuk, in order to pick myself up and move myself forward. Because as members of a winning team, we do not fail. We might falter, and we might fail temporarily, but we're a winning team. And so this should give each and every one of us a sense of support and a sense of strength to move forward, even when we sometimes falter or temporarily fail. The Ibn Ezra, however, suggests that it comes from the word yashar, which means straight. And here too is an important message about how a Jew conducts themselves. Yashar, straight, honest, direct. That means in our relationships, in our family relationships, in our neighbor relationships, in our business relationships, and even in our relationships with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We have to be honest with ourselves, honest with each other, to resist the temptation to lead any type of life which even has the semblance, the appearance of being crooked, of being dishonest. Yashar, Yeshurun, Vayihi b'Yeshurun Melech, and he reigned over Yeshurun. When we are leading a life which is based on honesty and integrity, then we are being the truest version of ourselves. Yeshurun, Yisrael, Yashar. The Rabbeinu Bechaya says that the word Yeshurun derives from the word shur, shin, vav, resh, which means to see, vision. That is to say that a Jew must have, and does have clarity of vision, if we choose to open our eyes and see it. The Rabbanu Shalom gave each and every one of us our marching orders, the big mission, the big goal, and that is set forth in the Torah HaKadosha, which God gave us at Har Sinai. The Torah which we are celebrating on Simchas Torah, the reading of which we are celebrating on Simchas Torah, the giving of which we are celebrating on Simchas Torah, the fidelity to which we are celebrating on Simchas Torah. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu has given us clarity of vision. It's sometimes difficult for a person to figure out how to get from point A to point B. But what is more difficult is to figure out, what is my goal? Where am I going? But if I know where I'm going, then it's far easier to figure out a strategy how to get there. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in giving us the Torah, is giving us our big goal. He's given us the big idea. Now we just have to figure out how to get there, which isn't so simple all the time. But if we know where we're going, then we have a far greater chance of figuring out how to get there. And now let's take all these together. And they're all part of one whole. Yeshurun means to understand that we're part of a winning team, which means when we falter or fail, we know that we're part of something bigger and something successful. And we should never allow ourselves despair in our mission. Our mission has been set forth for us in the Torah. We have clarity of vision, clarity in our goals. And then the question is, how do we get from point A to B? How do we achieve those goals? And we achieve our goals through the methodology of yashar, of honesty, of forthrightness, of integrity, and spiritual refinement. That's what it means to be a yashar. Finally, I would suggest that taken together, we have one final understanding of the word yashar. Yashar comes from the word Yeshurun, and that comes from derives from the word Aleph Shin Resh Asher or Ishur or Isher, which means a pathway. Which means a pathway. To be a Jew is to understand that we're always on the path. We're always on the derech. We're always moving. We're always getting to. We are never complete. We are never perfect. We are never arrived. We have never arrived. We only arrive after our life is complete, 120 years, and we're sitting by the heavenly throne, basking in the Ziv HaShechina. But as long as that there is a pulse in our veins, then we are Yeshurun. We are on a path. May HaKadosh Baruch Hu bless us as we are about to complete one more cycle of the reading of the Torah, that we have the wherewithal, the spiritual reserves and the fortitude to grab on, to hold on to our name, and let our name define us. Vayhi b'Yeshurun Melech. Yeshurun. We are Yashar. We are Osher. We are Shur. And we are always on the Isher. We are always Isher. We are always on the Derech. Good Shabbos and good Yontif to all.